Well, hello, everybody. Here we are, another thrilling episode of Knife Chat with the cranky old bastard, me, JP Hrisoulas. Don't know if anyone's going to show up. If they do, great. If not, I'll just sit here and talk to myself, which I am pretty good at doing because I do that a lot. So let's see what's been going on. A lot been going on in my personal life, but I don't want to get into that now. But if you've been trying to get a hold of me through my website or through email or anything else like that, I haven't been available due to other urgent pressing matters. Anyway, on the knife front, I don't know if you folks are aware of what is going on in the knife community as far as a certain company that went out of business. I think it was called Bark River, run by Mike Stewart. He was playing fast and loose with labeling his steels on the production knives. Now, I knew Mr. Stewart for many, many years. I ran across him when he was still working with Leslie Assis and Jody Sampson with the original Bally Song folks, and he was always played loose and fast with certain things. Kelly Mishmash, good evening. How are you? You are the first one. Ha. So you get the prize for the night. I don't know what the prize is yet, but whatever it is, you get it. So anyway, it caught up with him, and I can't say that I'm sorry to see it go. When you do that sort of thing, it's sad. Just be honest with people. But that's all I would say about that. I've been in this industry for, 50 years. From when I was a little kid. I mean, when I first started making knives back in late 1960s or 1970s, I got a blade done I actually did in middle school, which was actually a pattern welded blade. We only had like 15, 20 years in it. It was made a couple old files and a couple of springs and a couple of chunks overhead at the heavy metal shop in middle school. And it welded up pretty good. I did an okay job with it. I still got it around here somewhere. One of these places I'll find it. Last time I saw it was when we packed up from moving from Henderson down here to Spring Hill. And I've seen people come, I've seen people go, I see trends start, I see trends peak, I see trends die away. I mean, everything from the quote-unquote original Bowie knives to the Rambo survival knives to the Tonto craze, back to the survival knives, back to the tactical folders and everything in between. And it seems that everything goes in cycles. Where things are right now, I have no clue. It's the way things are today. It's so many things are going to happen within this industry. Everybody wants to have the newest and the bestest as far as steel goes, and that's all fine and good. But my philosophy is you find a steel that you know and get to know it intimately. I mean, know how it's going to react and change and everything else. If you get the ins and outs of any particular steel, whether it's plain carbon steel or a tool steel or ultra high carbon steel or a super plastic, whatever you want to call it, and you know how to do a good heat treat, I mean optimal heat treat, and with good geometry, you're going to get a good knife. What's a good knife? Something that cuts. Something that cuts all day. Something that cuts when other blades go dull. It doesn't matter if it's the prettiest thing. It doesn't matter if it's the ugliest thing. To me, a knife is only good if it works as a knife. I've seen a lot of really high-priced junk out there that you couldn't cut a wet paper bag with it. And believe me, cutting a wet paper bag is not easy. But if it can't cut, it's not a knife. I would sooner have a knife made from a simple steel with optimal heat treat which in the right geometry can cut up one side and down the other, than to have one of these ultra fancy schmancy powdered metallurgy, precipitation hardening wonder steels that nobody can heat treat right, and you can't take an edge. You can't keep an edge. Which is a better knife? The one that cuts. But be that as it may. So I have several steels I work with. 10 series, 1060, 1084 electrite, 1095 electrite, 1070. I use a lot of L6, some 15 M20, some M2, some A2, some D2. And that's basically what I use. As far as stainlesses go, 440C. 440C has been the standard knife maker steel since Bob Loveless started using it on his knives back in the 60s, 1960s. I remember sitting down with him and talking about the 440C and later to the ATS 34 or 154 CM. ATS 34 is the electromelt version of 154 CM, and the 154 CM is the next step up from 440C. Now, where 440 gets a bad name is these produced knives out of who knows where that say 440 stainless on them. That's usually 440A, which is not a decent steel for a knife. That's what they call surgical grade stainless, one of the surgical quote unquote grade stainlesses. And it doesn't get very hard. And one of the things you have to worry about is hardness when you are making a knife. Too hard and it's brittle. Too soft, it's tougher, but it won't take an edge. So somewhere in between, you have to have an even balance. So the richer alloys, you can get away with it. They will enhance wear resistance. There's an old saying about D2. D2 takes a lousy edge, but holds it forever. Well, it's a die steel. That's what the D means, die. It's very wear resistant. The old Vasco ware from Vasco Pacific, back before they started making it. Hey, Rodney. How's everybody down there? Talking about steel. Was amazing steel to work with. Eats belts like crazy. That's why they call it Vasco ware. It wears them out too many times. And hello, Susie Rose Finley. How are you tonight? But back onto the steels. You got to know your steel inside out as far as heat treating, working temperatures, working ranges, what it can and cannot do, how to handle it, how to use it, get the blade geometry, which is another subject altogether. And I got to get something to drink because I'm drying out. Excuse me. I got to have a Notice Mr. Mott's Clamato juice. Notice Mr. Mott. I can use a sponsorship here. Watch this. I'm going to drink like I'm doing TV. Refreshing. That's my plug for Clamato juice, the official drink of bladesmiths for Salamander Armoury. Anyway, when do you determine when to stop foraging and when to start grinding? Very good question. Whenever you feel like it. That's kind of a flippant answer, isn't it? Usually, if you're working on a material, say a 50% reduction in thickness is what is required in order to start fracturing grain structure. So if you are starting with 1/4 of an inch, you have to take it down to about 1/8 of an inch, a little under, to start really fracturing those crystals. That's AKA edge packing. Now, I know I'm going to catch a lot of heat from this because, oh, there's no such thing. Yes, there is. But you have to do it right. If not, you can totally bug it up. Yes, you can get something similar through thermal cycling, but it's better if the blades are fractured. Crystals are fractured in the blade by impact. So, depending on the length of the piece and the width of the piece, you don't want to forge so thin that when you grind the width of the piece, You don't want to forge so thin that when you grind, you get way too thin and it starts warping along the edge and it starts looking like a lasagna noodle. That's not what you want. I take mine down to about, maybe 3/32 of an inch on the knives, a little bit thicker on the swords because these are 3-foot long pieces. You want that, but I don't pre-grind before I heat treat. I heat treat from the forging. I'm able to take things down. With all the years I've been doing this, I can take these down to where it looks like the blade's already been rough ground. If I need to, I will go in and clean up the fullers and stuff like that before I heat treat and do the final grind. Other than that, I make sure everything's the way it should be, the blade's straight, not winkly or wobbly, no wonks in it, no kinks, no other untoward things that it should not have. Goes from there into heat treat. From there, it comes out to temper, good hardened tempered. Then you got to be real careful when you start grinding it to not over grind and overheat the blade. Now, so most makers, they need to do a rough grinding after the forging, which is okay. Everybody works different. As you get better, you start doing this more and more, you will pick up that skill to where you don't need to do that much grinding, which translates into more efficient and more cost-effective use of steel. You get more steel out of it, more blade out of the given steel because you're actually stretching it, it's not ending up in a grinding dust and catch bucket or all over the floor. You stop grinding when things get to be about maybe 3/32 of an inch before heat treat, if you're doing that. But you got to be very careful if after heat treat, you don't overheat it because you can totally screw up the temper, and that's not a good thing. You can crack it. I've had blades warp like a dog's hind leg but other than that, it's just time to keep it cool. I grind final grind barehanded because if it's too hot to handle, it's too hot. Now my heavier grinding when I'm doing profiling, I do wear gloves because the blades aren't heat treated. But as far as the final grind up through about 220, 240 grit, 300 to 400, I do that barehanded. I do run the chance of running my knuckles and my delightful digits into the grinding wheel, which is not a good thing to do. But the grinders don't care. They don't care what it cuts. It could be brass, bronze, wood, steel, iron, horn, your fingers. It don't care. It just chews it up. And believe me, after you do one of those good grinder cuts, abrasions on your fingers or something like that, you don't feel them right away. About 3 o'clock in the morning, when everything's quiet, it starts throbbing, and boy, does it hurt. Keep it at night. But as far as the grinding goes, now if you're filing it, good luck. You'll be there for a while. But nothing wrong with draw filing. But I hope I answered your question then. Anybody else have any questions for the old bastard here? Let's see, where was it? Back on steels. Blade geometry. There we go. That's something that really needs to be discussed. Has not been. Try to straighten the blade before it gets too cool. If you get a blade warped and it still is not below, let's say 400 degrees, you can torque it straight. But once it hits ambient, once it gets below 400 degrees, you run a chance of snapping that puppy. There are other ways you can do it as well. I take them out of the temper because I temper at 450 degrees for swords and 375 for knives. Hold on. More tomato juice here. I love this stuff. See, tomato. My company, take a look here. But you can actually torque in, but that can be tricky if you don't know what you're doing. The first few times you do it, you probably break something. If not, you're lucky. There's also a way you can actually do a local heating with an oxyacetylene torch, or some people actually use a heat gun. Just heat it to it, and then just very, very carefully torque it and let it cool. The heavy plate way, I've seen it done. I haven't done it. One, I don't have that plate's that big, and two, I'm a klutz. So I see this happening, me dropping stuff all over, and it gets too cold, and that's it. Some people use a 3-pin method, where they have little fake jaws that go on your device like this. You have 2 pins here, and the other pin would be here on the other side. So you got like 3 pins, boom, boom, boom in the middle, and then those 3 basically come together as 2 pins, 1 pin in the middle, like that. See what I mean? And that gets you put a blade in between it, and then you torque it. That's one of the safer ways of doing it. It allows you to see what's going on, and you actually can feel it move. Or not, you actually feel it move through the device. So that's one of the ways I do it. If you want to do it cold, like my friend Kuzan Oda, he showed me the tooth method, where you use 2 sticks about 2.5, 3 feet long with grooves cutting, and you put the blade in there, and you move the blade like this with the sticks in and out, move the blade up like that. He showed me that trick about sting bent Japanese swords, but you run the chances of destroying the laminates if it's too far gone. And he said it's something he doesn't really like showing people, but he showed me. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. Okay, I would like to get a small for this year. What books would you suggest for a beginner? Mine. Depending on where you are, you might have some problems with various local and sundry county or city government. If you need to use a solid fuel forge, I strongly suggest you look at charcoal versus soft blacksmith coal. The nice thing about charcoal is, 1, it's easier to find. 2, it doesn't have these billowing clouds of smoke. And the third one is, it smells nice. You can always say, oh, it's just my barbecue. Now, the drawback about charcoal is it's expensive. It's pricey. Solid fuel forges, you can also burn hardwood and basically charcoal it in there. I actually know a gentleman that uses hard dry corn. He's having a great time doing that. I don't think he'd weld in it, but remember, charcoal was the original blacksmith fuel. Been used for thousands of years for working, for smelting. Everything from the dawn of the metalworking, the Copper Age, the Bronze Age, the Iron Age now. As far as gas goes, there are 2 ways you can go. You can do a Venturi burner, which does not use a blower, or you can use, a blower-powered burner. Venturi burners and tendency to run a little louder. You got to play with them a little bit, get them carbureted for altitude, and they're a little bit finicky when it comes to adjustments. But once you get them adjusted, they're usually pretty good. I use a 3-burner Venturi gas furnace that I built many years ago. I'm using the Ron Reel's T-Rex burners that I built using his plans. I also use for my smelting and my melting and my woots a blower powered burner, and it gets real hot. I mean, it melts steel, which is basically what it wants. So you do get hotter with a blower burner than you do with a Venturi burner, but the Venturi should get hot enough, with more than adequate, to go to a welding heat and do get some melting, let's say under 2,200 degrees, like for your non-ferrous, your bronzes, your coppers, your cupric alloys, that sort of thing. Aluminium, silver, gold, bronze, jeweler's bronze, German silver, nickel silver, whatever you call it. But that's it. As far as the size you need, it depends on what you're doing. If you're doing knives, you don't need much. Something the size of a toaster, maybe 6 inches square and a foot deep. I mean, open both ends a little bit. That's basically what mine is, except mine's about a foot square and 18 inches long, and it's with an interior of 6 by 6 by 12. And that's more than enough for me to weld out anything up. As far as books go, if you can get a hold of an old copy of Edge of the Anvil, that's a old book. I think it was done by Andrews. Is it? Another good book, if you can find it, is Upi Ontrack's Tools and Techniques for Metalworking Craftsmen. I got it somewhere around here. I'll look for it, and I'll bring it up. I'll bring that up for my next knife chat. I'm sitting here looking at it. I can't really see it off the top of my head. Just found it. Hold on. This is an old book. Upi Ontrack. Metal Techniques for Craftsmen. This is like a Bible. It's got everything in it. And it's an old book. It was printed in (1968), this version. And it covers a lot of stuff. Files, repoussé, sinking, raising. If you can find a copy, get one. I have no idea where to look, but it's Upi Ontrack, OPPIUNTRACHT, Metal Techniques for Craftsmen. And I don't know if it has an ISBN number on it or not. It should. It might not. ISBN number, prepared copy, is 0385 030 27-4. That's 0385 030 27-4. This is a good book. It's got a lot of information in it. I'll put that up right now. And of course, my books, they're more leaning towards, like I said, knife makers. But The Edge of the Anvil and the Metal Techniques for Craftsmen by Ontrack, those would be two good starts. Yeah, those two I recommend off the top of my head. And you are most welcome. Thank you. I need more tomato juice. I love this stuff. Oh, whoever came up with this should be made a saint. But I don't believe in saints. So. Hey, if anybody has any idea, what do you mean you're not up to using the books yet? Not that hard. Now, the last two are, but the first one, that's for people that basically know, is this a hammer? But when you're ready to, and when you're ready to, that it's out there. But the first book it's for the basic beginners. But anyway, Well, I said, if anybody has any idea how to troubleshoot a mill, I have one of those little um, Grizzly mill drills that's on your desktop, it's on your benchtop. Looks like a charm bracelet. It's not very big, but it does what I need to do and a little bit more. But for some reason, I was out there after doing about 15 or 20 slotting guards. I went to turn it on, it didn't work. I mean, the digital readout opened up, it lit up. It just hit the little knob, and it just sat there looking at me. And then I turned it off, and I came back a day or two later, turned it back on, and it worked. And then it didn't work. So I don't know what's wrong. I checked the fuse is there. I checked what's plugged in. Fuse is good. I think it's the switch, but I don't know. I have no idea how to check it without, electrocuting myself. Electricity and me don't get along. Electronics and me don't get along. There's an old joke about, what's black and crispy hanging from a light fixture? Me changing a light bulb. I don't mess with electricity. I don't want to ride the lightning. No. So if anybody has any idea how to check the switch outside of taking it apart, I broke open the circuit box, and it looks like a bowl of spaghetti in there. And I'm trying to get a schematic from Grizzly, but they don't have one yet. They're going to send me one down, so I have an idea how to look into it. But I would like to get that thing up and running, because I only run it for maybe 15, 20 hours in the 3 years I've had it. I'm just now getting into doing the guards a little bit more than standardizing blade strapes. So if anybody has any idea how to do that, please get a hold of me through my website, email address at Hrisoulas@AOL.com. I'd really appreciate it. Anybody have any ideas? As far as other things going, I'm still trying to get my leatherwork better. This is my latest scabbard here. I did a video on these. You better look at it. See if we can see it better. I don't know. You can see the leather. Right, there you go. A little tooling on it. Nothing much. It's better than nothing. Like I said, I went from a chimpanzee to a orangutan. What else? That's about it for the leather work. I don't know what else. Anybody come on, ask some questions, folks. Come on. Use me, abuse me. Put me to work. Boy, I love this stuff. That's the good stuff. So, I got a couple questions through my website on the wood scabbard on the sword yet. Actually, I'm getting there, Rodney. I'm getting there. I've got the right kind of wood now. That's a lot. That's a lot of the fight. I've contacted a couple of people that do these scabbards. They say I should build it up as I would like modeling clay and then just plane it down. So I'll be playing around with that. But there's still hope. If not, we can always fall back to leather, but there's still hope. So more on that as things progress. I'll be getting back on that one here another few weeks and doing some more work on that. So once I get the wood scabbard done, I got to figure out how I'm going to cover it or paint it or lacquer it or whatever we want to do with it. We'll do it. Putting those fittings on it is going to be a real challenge, but we'll figure it out. Make it work. We'll make it work. No problem. I have all the confidence in the world that we can come up with something between the two of us. But what was I saying? I totally blew it. Must be getting old. I am old. Oh, yes. Leatherwork. Oh, people want to know where I get my horn. There's a place down here in Florida. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. That has all kinds of bones and horns. I was getting them from a company over in Botswana, of all places, in Africa. but they went to, after COVID hit and everything, they went total wholesale, and they won't sell for anything under $500 American orders. And $500 worth of horn will last me the rest of my life. So I don't need $500 worth of horn. So I get them from Atlantic Enterprises. I think that's the name of the place now, Florida. Atlantic Enterprises. They have seashells, critter parts, ocean critter parts, starfish, dead starfish, bones, antlers, teeth, skeletal materials, horns of various sizes, critter parts, stuff like that. They'll sell an individual piece all the way up to as many as you want. I've done business with them for a few years now, and I have not had a bad piece from them yet. So that's all I can tell you about that. But that's where I get it from. Using the horn, I like it. It smells bad, but it's a nice grip. I mean, I got one right here on this Woots card here. And that's my powell horn. I mean, that's a nice material. It feels great in the hand. It really does. It's a nice pistol grip shape to it, and it's different. I mean, everybody's doing the same thing over and over again. Oh, people cool, huh? Well, you have a wonderful time. You and Lee have a wonderful evening. Make sure you don't drown. Tell her I send my love, and I'll talk to you soon. You know, everybody have a nice night. And tell Ty he better straighten himself up, or I'm going to come down over there and beat him up a little bit. So take care, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, what was I saying about? And the horn and stuff. There's so many people that are doing the same thing as far as handle materials go. There's nothing wrong with antler. There's nothing wrong with horn or bone or anything. But it seems that people get stuck in a, I don't want to say rut, in a certain area of handle materials they like. Now, for years, I didn't use man-made material. I didn't like it. I didn't like the look of it. It looked like what it was, plastic. But I just sort of like walked away from it. And as technology advanced and things got better, or more things got added to the realm of man-made materials, I started looking into it again. Then I discovered Bakelite. Yeah, okay, Bakelite's not modern material. It's 100 years old, over 100 years old now. I got some pre-World War I Bakelite that I'm using on some of my stuff. It's a beautiful material to work with if you know how to use it. You got to be careful not to overheat it, because it will crack on you and it will burn and melt, and it smells like crap. Oh, God, it stinks. But it's some interesting material. It's man-made, but it's old. It's an antique plastic. Okay? Of course, everybody knows about micarta. Paper base, linen base, micarta. That was Westinghouse product. I do believe it was Westinghouse. Yes, it was Westinghouse. They came up with that. Then I discovered bowling ball material. I lucked into that stuff from a custom bowling ball maker in Las Vegas. He's been pouring me neat little things out of the stuff he's got. Whenever he's got some really weird leftovers, he pours me up. I think I am in trouble here. Will somebody say something? I'm getting an error message. Oh, great. Something screwed up, I think. Nope, still says I'm going. So, anyway, back to the bowling ball material. So if it's tough enough for a bowling ball, it's tough enough to make a knife handle out of. And the color is absolutely beautiful. And the color combinations, it can look just really bizarre. Sort of like message retracted. I have no idea what that means. My wife's here. I have no idea what message retracted means, but I'll find out. This is not a good sign. I think I'm going to end this for now because I'm not even sure I am broadcasting. So this could be my problem with my internet provider again. So anyway, oh, that was you. Okay, so everything's working. Thank you. I have no idea how to get rid of this error message, but as long as I'm still working, I'll still be here for another 20 minutes. So that's the news on materials. You are welcome, Susie Rose Finley. I wish you well. And if you really get involved in this, I'm sorry. Your life will take a major turn and it will never be the same. And get a good look on your hands because they'll never be as clean as they are right now, ever again. Because once you get into it and it gets into your blood, that's it. That's all there is to it. It's done. You're cooked. But it's going to be an interesting journey for you. But as far as how material goes, the bowling ball material is really nice. As far as some of the acrylics, I've used them. I am not so sure I like them because they have a tendency to be a little soft. And they chip, but you know, everything's got its strong points and its drawbacks. I mean, wood chips, it cracks, it shrinks, it burns, it just comes apart, it rots. Skeletal materials, they can crack, shrink, rot, disintegrate, turn to dust. I mean, metal rusts, corrodes. Everything has a lifetime to it, you know. The only thing that's forever is forever. I mean, nothing is really forever. Everything has a termination point. But that's, you know, you got to figure out your own thing. Now, as far as wood goes, I like, you know, tropical hardwoods. My favorite wood is cocobolo, but it does not like me. I mean, for years I had no problem with it. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I developed a sensitivity to it. And I break out looking like a cheese pizza. It's nasty. So I just wrap myself up into my near hazmat clothing I work at, and everything's fine and good. My mom's dad and brothers were blacksmiths, plumbers in Denmark. Hey, they're everywhere, I tell you. Too bad your family, I don't know if they're still alive or not, but your grandfather and his brothers, they might still be alive, so you can ask them stuff. But if not, you know, they might have helped you out. My family were bowyers. They were bow makers on my father's side, and my mother's side, they were basically herdsmen. They also had fruit trees, dates, figs, and pistachios. Mostly dates, figs, pistachios. Some quince, but mostly dates, figs, and pistachios. And they were running goats, sheep, and camels. Some horses, but mostly goats, sheep, and camels. But that's the old country. That's you know, my mom's side, my father's side were bowyers. They made composite bows. I got one out here. I made my grandfather made all those years ago. Got one here that I was working on, but I'll probably never finish it. But it's strange how, you know, things go in circles. A friend of mine, he's a doctor in Las Vegas. Well, he's up in Goldfield right now. He got himself his I call him a booze baron. He's got himself a little distilled spirits enterprise going on there. Old Sam's spiced gins. and he's an MD. He's also one of the top orthopedic surgeons in the country, Sam Wise, and he wants to be a blacksmith knife maker so bad. He's got the hands, but he's got so many irons in the fire. It's ridiculous. The guy's got his medical practice. He's working on a health co-op as well as running his distillery. So the man is busy, but that's what he likes. So anyway, does anybody else have any more questions? I feel like I'm going in circles. Time for more tomato. I got my kids drinking this and they're little. And my youngest daughter, like 1 minute, she still drinks it. Now she's got her kids drinking it. So, so between my family, I think we want people to buy this stuff. But it's the good stuff, I tell you. But other than that, I think this is it for the night. I'm going to go ahead and end for now. I want to thank you all for your time and your interest in having me come into your home. I appreciate that. Hopefully you got something out of this little chat. I'm still not comfortable in doing this. Stewie the Wonder Kitty has not shown up, which is good. So to those people that are waiting for me, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but he's off doing Stewie stuff. So everybody, this evening, I will see you again next week. Hopefully you have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay cool, stay calm. May the wise Lord Ahura Mazda bless you and yours. Blessings from all. Thank you. Good night.